Have you ever wondered what the secret recipe is for the AI use every day? Well, behind all that magic, there's actually a blueprint, a kind of secret recipe. And today, we're going to dive in and decode it together. Okay, and here it is. I know, right? At first glance, this looks like something you'd see on a chalkboard in some crazy advanced math class. It's it's a little intimidating. But hey, stick with me here because this one single line, this is the key to understanding, well, everything. So, what if this wasn't some scary math problem? What if it was just a simple story? That's exactly what we're going to do. I promise, by the end of this, you're going to be able to look at that formula and know exactly what's going on inside these incredible AI systems. All right, first things first, let's start at the very beginning and break down the absolute fundamentals. At its core, any AI is really just about taking something in, doing some thinking, and then giving something back. It's a simple input-output engine, you know? And it all kicks off right here with the very first, and honestly the simplest piece of our whole puzzle, the letter X. So X is just a placeholder, you know? It stands for whatever you type into that little box. It's your prompt, it's your question, your command. It's the thing that gets the whole conversation started. So, for example, if you type in, "What is the market trend today?" Boom, that whole sentence, that's your X. It's that simple. It's really the spark that gets the whole engine running. Okay, so we've got our input, our X. So where does it go? Well, it flows right into this part of the blueprint. You can basically think of this as the AI's brain. This is where all the heavy lifting happens. See? The F here, that's the function, the engine of the AI. And that little theta symbol, that represents the millions, sometimes billions of parameters the model learned during its training. So when you see F theta together, that's it. That's the AI's brain, processing your input based on everything it's ever learned. So let's recap. We've given it an input, X. The AI's brain has done its thing, it's processed it, so what comes out on the other side? Well, that would be our Y. And Y is just the output. It's the answer to your question, the story it comes up with, the code it generates for you. X goes in, Y comes out. That's the core loop. But here's where it gets really interesting. What is it that makes this simple little loop so incredibly powerful? Well, how do you go from just a basic input-output machine to an AI that's actually useful? The answer is superpowers. These are the extra components that take the system from a simple little model to something truly sophisticated. And our first superpower is C, and C stands for context. The best way to think about this is like a cheat sheet you give the AI for one specific task. You know, if you upload a PDF and start asking questions about it, that PDF is the context. It's all about short-term info that helps the AI really zero in on the job at hand. All right, next up we've got M, and you can probably guess this one. M is for memory. So if context is like that temporary cheat sheet, memory is more like the system's long-term notebook. This is what lets the AI remember your past conversations, maybe your preferences, and other key facts over time, across a bunch of different chats. And for our final superpower, we have T. T stands for tools. This is a huge one. This is how we give the AI access to the outside world. We can give it a calculator to solve math problems, or the ability to go search a database, or even connect it to the live internet through an API. It's kind of like giving your own brain a smartphone. Okay, so we've got the core engine, and we've got its awesome superpowers, but now we get to the real secret sauce, the thing that makes it all tick. It's a totally fundamental shift in how we think about getting an answer. It's not about certainty, it's all about probability. I love this comparison because it makes it so clear. A calculator is what we call deterministic. 2 plus 2 is always going to be 4, every single time. But an LLM, well, it's probabilistic. If you ask it, tell me a joke, there are tons, maybe infinite, correct answers, right? The AI isn't calculating one single truth. It's predicting what the most likely, most plausible next words should be. So how in the world does it do that? Well, it doesn't just spit out a whole sentence at once. It actually predicts the very next word, or more accurately, the next token. So if it has the phrase, "the sun is shining," and it runs the numbers, it calculates all the probabilities for what could come next. It might say, okay, sky has a 60% chance, birds has a 25% chance. So it picks sky, adds that to the sentence, and then It does the whole thing over again to predict the next word. It's just a constant chain of predictions, one after another. All right, we've broken down the engine, we've talked about the superpowers, and we've uncovered the secret probabilistic sauce. But why does any of this matter? For you, as someone who uses this stuff, why is understanding this blueprint actually useful? Because it basically turns you into an expert troubleshooter. Think about it. The next time an AI gives you a weird or just plain bad answer, you can start to diagnose the problem. Was my input, my X, was it too vague? Did I forget to give it the right context, the C? Maybe one of its tools, the T, failed to connect. Or maybe, hey, this is just a limitation of the model's core training, it's theta. This whole framework gives you the power to work with AI so much more effectively. So let's take one last look at that blueprint. It's not so scary now, is it? We can actually read it like a story. It's saying the output, Y, is a guess picked from a range of possibilities, and those possibilities are shaped by the model's training, theta, based on our input, X, the short-term context, C, its long-term memory, M, and any tools, T, it has access to. See? It all just clicks into place. Every single piece has a job to do, from that first question you type in, all the way to the superpowers that help the AI's brain think better. And that's the real takeaway here. Once you understand the blueprint, you're not just a user anymore. You're kind of like an architect. So the only question left is, now that you can read the plans, what are you going to ask it to build?